Good evening, everybody. This is Ali Asif, Senior Investment Advisor Dubai. And today I'd like to present to you not just one of the good investments, but one of my most favorite investments in the market. And one thing that really stands out to me about this is the developer and the prime location that you have. When we are talking about wealthy or UHNIs and HNI individuals, one thing that they really do care of is not the money, but what they care of is the time that it takes you to travel to their work destinations or to meet their friends. And there is no other possible villa opportunity that is coming up right next to this or anywhere close to this, which is located as good. By the location, I mean being right next to Burj Khalifa, right over there, where you're looking at 12 minutes and then like another 12 minutes to DIFC, where you've got your hedge funds, your larger financial institutions. Those are the people that you want to target at the end of the day, because those people have got, economically speaking, the most inelastic price elasticity of demand. So they can pay the highest for a high quality product. And those are going to be your buyers, your tenants when the property is ready. And today I want to take you to the plot and show you exactly how the location looks like. We do have the construction going on. Hopefully we'll get the special approval to show you guys how the construction is going on and the quality for it. These were sold around 3.5 years time, handing over in October. So you are kind of buying in a very established location. And when we look over there, we've got the grand views villas towards the right hand side and the polo townhouses towards the left hand side. These not having the community access or the amenities that Nad Al Sheba garden has. And Meraas is known for giving you exactly what they show in the brochures. We can see that in Blue Waters, Jumeirah Bay Island, or any other high-end community, even City Walk. Those communities have appreciated quite a bit. So you're investing in a government-backed developer which has provided you credible returns in the past. And I'm going to show you the exact community, and we're going to look at how the construction progress is going on right now. One of the reasons that why this is one of my most favorite investments, somewhere that I'd actually put my own money at, is firstly the location. And then we talk about villas and townhouses in general. There are around 12 to 13% of the supply. And when you're coming to the market to buy in a prime location like this, in off-plan, you literally have no other options. You're going down further 15, 20 minutes, which you don't really want to go when you want to target that high clientele, that is going to pay so much in rentals and buy that property off you for the highest price possible. You can literally see the Burj Khalifa from here. The weather is not that good. You cannot really see it that clear, but at night time it looks really beautiful. And even when we go through Google Maps, without the infrastructure that we're going to have in this area, the Meydan Mall and all of that, we're already looking at 12-13 minutes to Burj Khalifa and 12-13 minutes to Index Tower in DIFC. Again, a very important location that you want to target. Right now I'm standing at the exact site of Nad Al Sheba Gardens Phase 2 and 3, the first phases within the master community. Over there you've got your Nad Al Sheba Gardens Phase 2. You can see that a lot of the construction has been done. They're handing over towards end of this year. And towards the left hand side we've got the Phase 3, which is handing over around 3-4 months right after the Phase 2. Nothing actually within the master community has been ready yet, so we don't really have that movement of mortgage buyers or so. Those are the actual buyers that you want to target, especially for a villa community, because of the lack of quality villas that we have, especially in such prime locations. Now you might have a question why these are called Phase 2 and Phase 3, whereas the Phase 1. Phase 1 is right over here, right next to us. These were full plots that were sold by Meraas, and people had built their own custom villas within these small portion of the, not really considered the part of the master community. Master community is a very important word that you have to understand when investing within a community. Because in a master community, you have access to the amenities. Like you can see the Nad Al Sheba Gardens mall right over there. It's not just a retail shop, but a proper mall that you will have within the community. When we speak about the older phases or the newer phases, there isn't much of a difference in the layouts. But when we look at the older phases, you don't really have a lot of those larger villas like the 6 and 7 bedrooms, which have been a very high demand in the market. As Meraas has also seen a huge influx of those millionaires looking for such bigger villas. in the market. So they are coming out with more of them with the best amenities access that you can imagine in all of Dubai, and even with a better payment plan leverage. And once you're gonna have the first handover, once the keys are gonna be given for these villas, there's gonna be a huge capital appreciation spike that you're gonna see, because then the actual buyers are gonna realize what this community has to offer and the kind of quality it's gonna have. Just look at, this is the design that is completely done for it. You're investing in a developer which actually provides you exactly what you have seen in the brochures, the exact design that you see over here. Now that's the point, that's the reason why you should invest in a developer who has already provided stuff in the market, which has given reasonable appreciation and exactly what they were showing you in the brochures. We just came back from Nad Al Sheba Gardens, showed you guys the construction site for Nad Al Sheba Gardens phase 2 and 3. And right now where we are standing is one of the most renowned communities in all of Dubai, known as District 1, which has been constructed by the same holding company. This is done by Nad Al Sheba Gardens by Meraas. But as you're probably aware, last year they were all merged into one company called Dubai Holding Company. And the investments are done from the same background for that. And just to show you exactly what they had shown in the brochures, that's very, very important when you're buying in off-plan properties, to actually invest in a developer who delivers what they show. We've got swimmable lagoons right next to us, right over here. You have water-based communities in Dubai like Jumeirah Islands, even Palm Jumeirah to some extent at the start of the fronts. Over there, there is water for sure, but that water is not really that usable. Over here, you've got proper flowing water that is actually usable. And just look at the amount of greenery that you have. Even though this community is known for the lagoon, and this is the kind of greenery that they're having. Nad Al Sheba Gardens is going to be a newer community. It's going to have the greenery like this. It's going to have swimmable lagoons. In terms of the greenery, there is actually a bigger focus over there, giving more space to the amenities. If anything is going to be better in terms of the greenery. And when we speak about the appreciation, when you're buying in off-plan properties, that is very important to understand how the ready properties in that same segment has appreciated, where they stand at, because you want to get a better price in off-plan, frankly speaking. It should be at least 20-25% cheaper. And you have to understand which villa types or which specific products appreciated the most. When we look at villas 1 or 2 or 3 rows away from the lagoon, they've appreciated sitting at around 4,200, 4,400 dirhams per square foot and appreciated over 150%. But when we just get directly on the lagoon for larger villas, those, although given more time, have appreciated over 450%, sitting at 5,500, 5,700 dirhams per square foot, one of the most expensive villas in all of Dubai. So that is very important, because some people just want to invest the least amount, gain the most profits, but it's very important to understand the exact value. Okay, the developer is charging me 2-3 million more. What extra do I get for it? So that's very important to understanding the key products. I'll take you guys to the master plan and understand what exactly we should target and how your mindset should be when going for an off-plan investment. This whole market has around 220,000 units sold in the last 3 years' time. Of all of that, only 13-12% is off-plan villas and townhouses. And this happens to be that 0.5, that 1% of the prime locations of the bespoke quality, something that is very scarce in the market. And this investment does make a lot of sense to me. I'm going to showcase to you a proper presentation as to exactly how much this appreciated and how much we're expecting for Nad Al Sheba Gardens in terms of the numbers, just so you have more credible data. Now we are more towards the end of the video. And if you look at my channel, this is one of my first videos that I am making for real estate, and one of the prime reasons, the most important reason, is that I see that there's a lot of hype being created around the market, that this is going to go to this is going to go to this. I personally am an analytics person. I look at numbers. Numbers are the first thing for me to look at, and then we look at the other reasons. There's a lot of stuff that is getting sold out in the market. Some may not be that good as it looks like in terms of returns or in terms of quality. There's people are at the end of the day delivering. We've got the whole escrow account, the line department overseeing every single thing. But then there are some issues in terms of quality, and some developers are not coming up to the mark that was actually expected. And Meraas, this is a product by Meraas that we had discussed, and they are always providing the best quality, the finest quality. It is targeting that luxury segment. And you know, the same holding company now, Nakheel, Meraas, Meydan, they're also doing Asora Bay, which is known as one of the most luxury projects to be done in all of Dubai. You know, they had done Bulgaria Island, which happens to be the most expensive apartments in all of Dubai, and now they're bringing something a class above that called Asora Bay. So they're doing very, very highly exclusive projects in the market. Now, at the start of the video, I did say Nad Al Sheba Garden is one of my most favorite projects, and I'm going to explain to you one of the main reasons as to why it is. This is exactly where Nad Al Sheba Gardens is located. As you can see, you've got your direct link to Al Ain Road, which is one of the major roads, and then you've got your direct link to Al Khail Road right over here. And the most important locations in Dubai are your downtown and DIFC. So you're looking at 12 to 13 minutes to them. And a lot of the communities, when you come to the market to buy an off-plan property, off-plan, one of the main reasons that people buy off-plan is for that capital appreciation, being the first owner of that property and having the payment plan leverage. You know, mortgage rates, if you take a mortgage for a long term, it can go very, very high in the amount of interest that you're paying. Now, when you come to the market as an investor or as a high-end individual who works in the IFC, who wants to be as close as possible, not just to these two locations, but also to the beach and be within the city, because all of the communities that are being built in Dubai or have been built are further out. Like the other options that you have are towards this whole ribbon that you see. You've got multiple communities right around here. You've got Acres by Meraas, Athlon by Aldar, and Wiles by Aldar. And then another place that you have is somewhere down here. It's not being shown around here. You've got Shoba right over here, and then you've got your valley. So all of these communities are further out, whereas Nad Al Sheba Gardens in particular has the best location, has the closest proximity to downtown and the IFC, and it still is selling at a very, very good price point when we compare it to District 1. We're going to go more into the numbers. And that's the reason, you know, we are sitting at the phase 10 right now. And all of the previous phases have been sold out. Phase 2 and 3, the location that I showed you exactly, the villas being built, the keys have not been given. They've already selling for transacting at 50% premium. And people have actually made 100% return on equity because it was at a 50-50 payment plan. So, you know, that is something that is possible in Dubai's real estate market. And the first phase is not handed over, right? You don't really see that much appreciation when the first phase had not handed over. But Meraas has a very good off-plan secondary market because people know of the quality that it provides. Now, this is your whole master plan of Nad Al Sheba Gardens by Meraas. You know, we were standing around here where we had seen the malls. You know, mall is almost ready. They're just waiting for the phase 2 and phase 3 keys to be given out. And then they're going to have the retail being brought within the mall. You know, that's something also that Dubai Land Department oversees, that they need to have the retail, they need to have the infrastructure, the roads being approved by RTA. So when the first cluster is actually the hardest ones for the developer to hand over, because everything has to go perfect, right? It's just fully regulated in all of Dubai. And these were appreciated around 50% before the handover. Once it's given out for mortgage, once those end users, once people who do not know Meraas, who do not know communities, they're moving in from all around the world, they're going to see the community, they're going to see the lifestyle, then it's going to appreciate a lot more. You know, there's going to be open to mortgage buyers also. And right now, the opportunity that we have to get into is in the phase 10 that you see right over here. You can see phase 8 and phase 9, they're not formally released right now. We're going to have it after this. There might be something unique or something different that they might bring in this. All of this has only around 201 units. You know, you've got a couple townhouses, you've got your larger villas. And the thing about this specific cluster is, although you've got the retail over there, you've got your school and sports center over here, and the best amenities access in all of Nad Al Sheba Gardens, or more like in all of Meydan, because you don't really see communities as green, as accessible to the lagoons. The swimmable lagoons that you have in this are very, very rare in all of Dubai. Like, we've only seen that in District 1. There are some communities yet to hand over which are going to have this, but at this quality, at this level, I don't think so. So as you can see, you've got your amenities right around here. You've got your swimmable lagoon, sport court, basketball court, kids play area. There's gonna be dogs park within the community towards the right hand side. Also, there is fine park coming in, a lot of amenities. So that's something that I want to emphasize on, because at the end of the day, you're an investor. You're not gonna you're gonna want to sell to an end user, right? Because they're gonna pay the most for your property. So as you can see, these are your 6 and 7 bedrooms right over here, facing directly on the amenities. These are your 4 and 5 bedrooms located over here. These are also gonna have access to the amenities, but you've got your swimmable lagoon, the larger, the more important amenities right over here, not for the 4 and 5 bedroom villas. These do also have a leverage. I'm going to go into the prices also, but you know, one thing that is actually the first ones to sell out, although I think so the larger villas with the better amenities access, you've got a better ROI and ROE potential. But these townhouses that you see, although they're back to back with the least amenities access, there's around 102 units of townhouses within this whole phase. And these are actually selling out very fast. Although they start at 5.1 million dirhams, in the whole year, you don't really get a townhouse or a semi-detached villa for this price as close to the city centers. Hence why those are the main reason that do sell out. But I believe these have the most potential. I'm gonna go into the numbers of the 6 bedroom villas only. You know, we've got the 3 bed, 4 bed villa, 5, 6, 7 bedroom villas, and the 3 bedrooms being the only townhouses. They've got 2 layouts, G+1 and G+2. G+2 is a more luxury layout, not really like a townhouse. It's around 3,200 square foot. You've got your built-in elevators and everything within that. You know, there's actually one more point that I would really like to mention, because when you're investing in off plan, you have to understand when will this property be liquid, right? You're buying, the best time to sell is at the handover, or a couple months after the handover, when your mortgage buyers are in, the community is getting more established. So one key point to understand over here is at the site that we were at, phase 2 is being handed over towards end of this year, and then phase 3 around 3-4 months after that. So till the point that you're reaching to phase 10's handover, which is around February of 2029, around 3.5 years. You know, developers normally take 4, like the top tier ones that we're talking about do take around 4 years time, but this is quite less than that. You're gonna have all of this that you see with all of the amenities that you can see over here. I'm gonna show you, I'm gonna play some renders on the screen just so you have a better understanding. You're gonna have access to all of these amenities and actually have all of those villas handed over by then. So you're gonna be in a very established location. The government itself is investing in Latifa bint Hamdan Street. I'm going to get into that in another video, because this is not like directly affected by it. It's going a street going towards Global Village to Nad Al Sheba Gardens. Is going to aid the other communities more. But then I'm going to go more into that also. And when we look at understanding this specific Nad Al Sheba Gardens, you're going to have a lot of establishment, a lot of mortgage buyers come in for this specific community. You know, now we're towards the one of the most important part of the video for you, the actual prices and the payment terms that we have for Nad Al Sheba Gardens, you know, the most prime villa community. As we discussed, you know, there are more villa options. Of course, there is. I'm not bound on selling one specific community, but this has been one of my most favorite, because if you want to go and buy a villa for any much cheaper, you're going further down 15, 20 minutes distance, which is, although it's not a lot compared to all the other cities around the world, but people who are coming to stay over here, they work at DIFC, the hedge fund managers, those business professionals, and the bigger business owners, they care about their time, right? They'd rather pay the highest amount of money. And that's one of the main reasons why we saw so much appreciation in District 1, which I'm going to show you guys the exact numbers and how it has performed, as that's the most closest ready comparable. But if you have a lesser budget, if you're looking for more size that you're not able to get over here, you can always give me a call. My number is right over here and also in the description down below. And my job is to get you the perfect thing that suits your investment intent. Wow. Now let's get into the prices. As you can see, you've got your 3-bedroom townhouses starting at 5.1 million. There are two layouts to them, G+1 and G+2. G+1 is most likely going to get a unit around the 5.4, 5.5 million mark, a decent unit closer to the amenities, but there should be some units near to this price also. And there's a G+2 option. When we look at the price per square foot, it should be around the 6.4, 6.5 million mark at least, with built-in elevators. And we're not going to go into the floor plans and layouts. I'm just going to show you guys exactly the appreciation for one specific type, because there's multiple types in this video. It's going to go much longer. So if you have a specific budget or a constraint or a certain number of bedroom or size that you'd like, you can always message me, and I'm going to share with you the analysis, because I have all the analysis for this project and for other communities as well. And now we look at it for all of these three types. 5.1, 11.4 million for a 4-bed, 13.9 million for a 5-bedroom villa. The thing is, we do get a 80-20 payment plan. So you're paying 80% during the construction phase and 20% at the time of handover. Your last payment before the construction, before the finishing of your villa, is at June 2028 and handover at February 2029. So you've got your good 6-7 months. If you're buying with an intent to flip, you can flip it to the right person. A good amount of construction would be done. And the thing also that you can plan to do is, once 50% construction and 50% payment has been completed, you can apply for an off-plan mortgage also. And that is the rule only for top tier developers like Emaar, Meraas, Nakheel, and Majid Al Futain. So that's also a possibility in Meraas. If you think that you might not be able to do all of the payments, firstly, you need to have all of that cash flow planned as well. But if you think that there might be some business circumstances, you can get a mortgage for these properties during construction also. And now we talk about the products which I think will perform the best. Although the townhouses are around the less than 2,000 dirhams per square foot, which is a decent price for what it is. These are selling for a slightly higher price per square foot. But again, the best amenities access. You are seeing on my screen the renders. That is not just a brochure, but that is exactly how your lifestyle is going to be, how you're gonna have the access to the amenities right in front of your villa. You've got your swimmable lagoon, basketball court, and multiple amenities. So now we have the 6 and 7 bedrooms. There's only 22 units. These are gonna fly. These are gonna fly quite quick, but as the top brokers for Meraas and the companies in the industry from 2008, and we are able to provide our clients with the best units possible. But then again, you have to be early on. You have to contact me fast if you want the access to these, because once the down payments are made, we cannot really do anything. And the interesting thing about the 6 and the 7 bedrooms are, you've got a 60-40 payment plan. So under construction, you're only paying 60%. Until you get the keys, there are no other payments that you have to make. And what this means is that there is high leverage that you have. You can either mortgage the last payment if you're looking at for yourselves to live in, that is going to ease your cash flow a lot more, or sell it for a profit before handover and make high return on equity. And now we look at as to how much money you can make in this. I'm going to go only for the 6 bedroom. You want the other analysis, you can contact me now and I'm going to provide that with you. We can set up a call and see even if this is the right product for you, because it's all about the investment intent, right? This is going to be really good even if you want to flip in 3 years time or sell it. Again, flipping is not something that I usually advise. It's always better to keep it for a longer term. But this is going to flip before handover very well. But if you have a longer term perspective, let's say 8-10 years time, there may be some other opportunities which may be better for you. Now, right now, I'm going to go only in the analysis of 6 bedroom villas as discussed. This is District 1. The community that you had the visit to, I showed you guys exactly how it looks. You can expect the same kind of quality, if not better in terms of the amenities. District 1 does not really have those community pools or smaller amenities that do make a difference at the end of the day. So when we talk about District 1, how much it has appreciated, this is a 5-bedroom villa. This is a more comparable to the 6-bedroom that Nad Al Sheba Gardens, because they had provided some larger sizes. As you can see, the size that we had gotten over here is around 7,600 square foot, and you had a 8,300 square foot plot. In Nad Al Sheba Gardens, the plots are going to be approximately 800,000 square foot more than the built up area. And you over here at Nad Al Sheba Gardens, get 2,650 dirhams per square foot on the lagoon, whereas in District 1 it is trading at 4,300 dirhams per square foot, and this is not on the lagoon. This is 2 or 3 away from the lagoon, so it does not have the amenities access, and still it has appreciated so much. You know, it was originally bought for 14 million in 2019, and then later on sold for 32.5 million dirhams, 132% appreciation made. And you don't really see a lot of listings or a lot of people trying to sell these because you've got a good amount of end users. And that is actually a good thing, because then you don't really have people who are coming into the market to resale that property. So there is a big supply constraint, but there is a high demand because people are moving to Dubai. Over 9,800 millionaires this year. There is a lack of supply for high quality villas in prime locations as this. And this is, you're gonna put till handover 10.8 million dirhams into the 6 beds, which is around the 60% for 18 million. You wanna expect 18.5 million is around the good price range for a good villa for a 6-bedroom. You don't really get much at the starting price, to be honest. It's just advertisement, or the shittiest placed unit is gonna be at that price. 18 million, this is gonna be the money invested, 10.8 million till the time of handover. And the projected value, this is again not on the lagoon, not on the amenities, which is a very strong factor. You're looking at over 107% return on your equity. This villa is going to be worth 29.5 million on these statistics. Now this is kind of a conservative analysis. Now if we are going on a more realistic analysis and assuming that we give it enough time, this is not a price that you can think of flipping at, which I'm going to show you exactly what price that it can reach, looking at how District 1 has performed. Now we look at the analysis of a villa in District 1 on the lagoon, having the direct access of amenities, you know, as you've seen in the video that we made at the site, having that access of the lagoon. You're going to have more green communities in Nad Al Sheba Gardens. Then we're looking at a more realistic return of what we actually can gain if we give the enough time to the community and the infrastructure and the people moving in. District 1 again has less greenery, no community pools or the kind of amenities access that this has. This above villa is directly on the lagoon and is transacting at 5,300 dirhams per square foot on the plot, giving you an average of 5,600 dirhams per square foot on the built-up area. But mind that this is a much larger villa in District 1. The villas on the lagoon are much larger, 15,000 square foot, whereas the 6 bedrooms that we are looking at is 6,800. So you cannot directly compare that, right? The larger the villa, usually the higher the price per square foot because of the amenities and the kind of crowd, the kind of people that it attracts. How much this has actually transacted? This was originally bought in June 2015, again given a longer time than the previous villa that we looked at in District 1 away from the amenities. And this had reached the price of 31 million dirhams in 2023. And recently in December, again, not a lot of transaction of the larger villas because they do not come to the resale market. Hence the appreciation, 84 million dirhams is what it has transacted for in December 2024. And you can see 17 million all the way to 84 million given time. So this has achieved around 450% appreciation from the time it was bought in off plan. And even when you look at the appreciation it has achieved in 1.5 years time, that's also quite good. And when we take all of this, we take an average, right? We cannot really say this has transacted at 5,600, the above villa at 4,300. We take an average of both because it has got the amenities, but again, not the size. We take an average of 4,950 dirhams per square foot, which is a more realistic number, not really that conservative. 18 to 34 million AED. Once the community, once you have given the time to the villa and the community and the infrastructure, this is a realistic price that it can reach, but I wouldn't plan to flip at handover for that price. Again, you're making more in percentage wise in ROE if you flip it at that time. But again, if you keep it for the longer term, these properties do act out the best and provide the most fruitful returns in the longer run. And that's the kind of The mindset that you need to have when you're investing into a property. You don't want to buy and then flip in 6 months and all of that. Give the property a time. It's an asset which is very liquid again in a city like Dubai, but it's not a stock. Much higher in terms of rental yields wise than other villas or other investments in the ready market right now. And just to summarize, just to finally end the video, this was the analysis for the 6 beds. I have it for the other 3-bedroom townhouses, 4, 5, and then also the 7, which is also kind of expensive, in terms of the price per square foot, but again, a great buy. Also, all of them are great, but again, from an investment point of view, you want to know which is going to make you the most amount of money, right? So if you're interested in the other types, would like to have a call with me, you can message me down below, and then we can set a proper appointment, a proper consultation where I can go exactly as to what you're looking for, right? As mentioned, we are part of Aon and Tristle, the #1 brokers for EMAR, diamond brokers for Nakheel and Meraas. We reached this position because we are able to provide our clients with the most honest advice based on numbers, not hype. Contact me now. This is going to sell out anyways. So if you are interested in this community and want the best units, you got my number.